First of all, we have to be grateful to our donors who have supported Nigeria and many other countries in Africa with lots of money and materials, sometimes also capacity building assistance in various ways. We have to be grateful to them. Many of those services have been helpful to our people in various ways. That has to be settled. But the question then is this: what the donors are doing, the support the donors are providing, the aid they are bringing, the commodities, and the capacity building programs that they are funding, what is it doing? Do all these have the capacity to produce the result that the donors and some economists believe it will produce? That is the question. Do foreign aids in any form have the capacity to produce development? When I say development, we are talking about development that would, help people to move away from position of poverty to position of, moving people from poverty level, position of mass poverty to a position of shared prosperity. Is foreign aid in any form able to produce that? That is the question. And the answer, unfortunately, is no.
Would it have even provided that? Because if you take a look at the level of foreign aid,
yes,
that's the level of inflow of foreign aid into Africa now, vis-a-vis the rate of development at which Africa needs to develop, is still little. Because if we're saying $50 billion annually to African countries as foreign aid, African countries, do they need $50 billion to remedy poverty for advancement, economic advancement?
Of course, the answer is, first of all, is no. But in some countries, the smaller countries like Malawi, some other countries like Uganda, the volume of aid is actually huge compared to the, other sectors of the economy. But even in those countries where the volume of aid is huge relative to the size of the economy, foreign aid cannot produce development. It doesn't have the capacity so to do. The assumption, which is wrong, a very wrong assumption that donors make and some development economists make, is that lack of money is a cause of poverty. And what I'm finding, my book, I articulated it very clearly in my book, which I just published, Foreign Aid and the Future of Africa. What we are saying is this: lack of money, that is the gap that donors want to fill, is not a cause of poverty. Lack of money is a consequence of poverty. So if you're going to treat a problem, you don't treat the symptoms of those problems, you don't treat the consequence, you treat the cause of the problem. Providing money to the poor, just money, will not necessarily help them move away from poverty. In countries, in any state, what brings about shared prosperity is the nature of the institutions of the state. Does the state provide an environment for every agent? When I say every agent, I mean every individual, every corporation, every family, to be able to actualize their own God-given dreams, to contribute meaningfully in the political and economic sphere. That is key. Once you have institutions that are not able to give people opportunity, poverty is the first result. It doesn't, So when donors bring funds to help, they can help us solve some of the problems of poverty. They can help us solve some of the signs of institutional failure. They can help us soothe the pains of those institutional failure, but they don't get to the root of the problem. That is the issue. So when donors say they are checking the effectiveness of foreign aid, even when economists talk about it, they're looking at how foreign aid has helped or failed to help African countries to move away from poverty. They're actually doing the wrong thing. Because you don't assess something that does not have the capacity to do that. It doesn't have the capacity to produce development or to fight poverty. When you see celebrities, they sometimes organize concerts all over the world. They may have the best of intentions to raise funds. They say making poverty history in Africa. They want to make poverty history in Africa. How? By raising money. No. They are assuming that not enough money, giving money to countries will help those countries move away from poverty. That is wrong. Like I said, do not get me wrong. These donors, these celebrities who they may have good intentions, but they are missing the mark.
So from what you're saying, in essence, Prof, is that money alone isn't the solution.
Money isn't the